Hello friends, welcome back. This is Angular developer series for our e-commerce application. We're building a robust e-commerce application as if that it is built in the real organization. And this is episode 4. We are going to take a look at the routing, implement routing, lazy loading, and all of those important things in this video. So without delay, come let's get started. Alright, so let's have a quick recap. Episode 1 is all about taking a template and converting into our Angular application, which we have done. Episode 2 is taking this part and the feature product part and implementing Angular data bindings, Angular structural directives. Third one is all about understanding NgModules with a good example, and this is episode 4. In this video, what we are going to cover is we are going to implement couple of modules, NgModules, and implement routing and so I will also give you tips about the interview questions as we progress, but this is what we are going to do in this. Now those who have not seen this or new to this, right, go to this link, and if you browse this repository with these branches, you will definitely see EP4 underscore routing and lazy loading, and that will be the completed code of this EP4. By the time this video comes, this branch, EP4 branch, will be available. Alright, and also I'm merging all the latest code to the main branch. So if you directly want to go to the latest code, you feel free to take the main code. But if you want to follow along with me, take that previous code. Like if this is EP4, please take EP3, download it, follow along with me, and by the end of the video, the EP4 code here and your code that you completed along with me will be same. Alright. Now enough with the discussion, let's get into the work. Let's go to terminal and open the terminal. This is how I open the terminal. The first thing that we will do is we are going to deal with the NgModule. So we generate an NgModule by using a CLI command, ng space g space m. M stands for module and product is the name. So that comes directly under the product folder. Alright, now you can see all of this declaration imports everything in the NgModule. Okay, now let's proceed. And next thing is we will use NgGenerate module called shared module. Okay, anything that is common across the application can be put into a module called shared module. Okay, we will see what we will put in the shared module as we progress, but the next thing is again we will generate another module called shopping module. Okay, because we have some sites, like some pages that belongs to shopping, so that's why we are doing it. Now the next thing is we will start generating components which will be mainly for the pages. Alright, so the first thing, so you see this, all of these pages are there, blogs, contacts, and home page, and all of those things. So based on the pages, I'm going to do the component generation, and I'm going to speed up this process for saving some time. Alright, now let's do some component generation. The first one is the product search result. So if somebody types something and searches the product, we will use that component. Next is the product detail. Alright, so in order for us to show a detail of a particular product, we do that. For under shopping, we have wish list, cart, and checkout. So we generate 3 components, and then the next one is under the components something called contact, so that belongs to app module. And then the one last piece that we want is home component. Alright, so right now we have generated all of these components. Now let's see how we will refactor to make the sites better and better. You see there is something called product category we did there, right? So that product category I'm going to cut and paste it under the shared, and I'm going to say yes or always to update the reference automatically. But if you remember, this product category is under the app module. Now we wanted to share this across all the applications, I mean like the completed application. So we will remove that product category component from the app module reference, and then we will place that under the shared module reference. Okay, so now product category belongs to shared module, not the app module. Alright, so how do you do that? You come to the shared module, under declaration you put this name, and because shared module is like shared across the application, we need to see what happens to this application. So let's run and see. You will definitely get an error. That's absolutely fine, but I'll explain you why this error is. It basically says it is not recognized. So let's go and see this hero component. You see this this one started giving us error. It says, I don't know who is this guy, right? This looks to be a component, but I don't know who's this. So the reason behind this is the app module is not knowing any knowledge about the shared module. So the shared module needs to be imported in the app module in order to be a family. Like we saw how this NgModule works in episode 3, right? So now they are part of this family. I believe we should see the application working, but let's see what happens. Alright, I still get the error. That's interesting. I'll tell you the reason why. See, in the shared module, you have the declaration. Now it's part of that, but we never exported that. Anything that is shared and re-importing has to be exported. So I'm saying I'm exporting this component as well. Now see, magically our site starts working. So we are back to the same place. Our application is perfectly working. As we do one by one, you should know how to fix the problem, why the problem is coming. That's very important. Alright, now you see this, all of this stuff, they're all components. Let's clean this up. Okay, so let's clean this up, and then generally speaking in template, the top header, site navigation and all will be always constant. Only the middle part of the whole website will be keep changing, right? So first what we have to do is, in order to deal with the routing, okay, we need to do some work, but like I said, the sections which are common has to be in the main place. Like for example, app component. In app module, app component is the bootstrap, right? So when it bootstraps, anything that is common across all the pages needs to be here. Anything that needs to be dealt with the routing, right, that has to be under something called router outlet. Alright, so we have something called app module routing, like app routing module. So if you see the app routing module, there is something called routes. Okay, the routes being imported as a for route, and then it is exported. Router module is something that is required for routing to work. Remember, each module does its own work. Router module is from the Angular inbuilt module, and that's mainly meant for routing. In order for routing to work, router module has to be there. Now we use the router module here. We define the route in the separate place, and then we also export it and import it in the app module. Now in order to define the route, the first thing is it's an array of route, right? So first one is the path. We are saying if you find something called /home, go to home component. But there's also interesting that not people will type home. So if they just type the website, we are checking the website doesn't have any route, and the full match is the match path is full, you redirect automatically to the home component. Okay, like the home route, and then the home route will kick in, home component will come. In order for this route to work, okay, there's one more important thing that we have to do. Like I specified, there's something called router outlet. So router outlet is the one which deals with this routing stuff, right? So anything that deals with routing template, they will be replaced in this line number 11. So from line number 1 to 7 will be there always. Line number 11 will be replaced with the complete whole HTML that is dealing with the separate routing system, right? Our separate components, separate pages, and then followed by the footer. Now this line number 12, and you see this automatically, if I go and hit this, automatically it's going to /home. But this home works is also coming, but we need to do some more work to refactor this. Now let's cut this two things and see what happens. It's loading. Okay, perfect. Those two parts went, but we want those two parts when they go to home, right? Whatever we have cut, let's go to home component and paste it there. Okay, so we're going to paste it there, and then let's see one by one whether that works or not. Okay, perfect. Everything looks good. Okay, now let's go to contact page. There is one more thing, right? We have to add a contact route. So let's go one by one. Okay, I will talk about the child routes and all in a moment, but let's say we have something called contact. Okay, and then the component is contact component. Okay, now if I change as contact page is coming, but the contact page is going to the site, right? Why is it not coming in the center? That's because of the CSS. Let's go and see what's going on with this hero component. Okay, the first is the hero component. Let's see what's happening. All right, so they have something called container. Okay, so the section and the container. Okay, so that is what is all dealing with. So let's cut this, put this outside, and then whatever the container class, right? I think we just need line number div container alone. So we cut this and go to this app component. So let's go to app component. Let's place that here and then put the router outlet inside, which means anything that is replaced is under the container, which means the site will be in the center aligned. Okay, so those who don't know about this bootstrap stuff, let me know in the comment section, but that's how it works. So under the container, automatically this whole section came. Now if I click on home, it comes, but if I click on contact, it doesn't come. So how do we deal with this URL routing? Like when I click, it should automatically go. I cannot go and change in the URL. So in order to do that, let's go to the header component. All of those navigations are now already in the header component. Okay, here is the one. So there is something interesting. Okay, now go to this extension. If you haven't done this, go and install this. Search for John Papa. Okay, there will be an Angular snippet for 16 version you will see. I have already installed it. You can install that. I'll tell you how easy it is after you install. Okay, using this, lot of Angular snippets can be developed, like hand coded. So in order for me to now do this routing, very simple, by using the snippet package, what I will do is I will go to one of the URL, let's say homepage. Okay, I'm going to remove this href and then say a dash router link. The moment I click, it's showing up the code. I just have to say /home. Okay, you see this, that's a square bracket. Remember, that's a inbuilt attribute, and then you specify it has to be on the /home. Similarly, let's go and do it for the contact. Okay, you can write this manually also, but basically the moment we use the snippet, it's easy for us to do all of these things magically. Let's go back to our application and see how it works. Click on contact, it's navigating. Click on home, it's navigating. Great, right? So we have done with these components. Now how do we deal with more NgModules, like for example a parent and a child? Okay, now let's create a file called product routing module. This product routing module deals with the separate route that comes under the product. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste the existing one, change this app routing to the product routing module. Okay, I'm going to clean up the unnecessary code. We don't need this, we have already explained it. Here we are saying if somebody comes under shop, right, if a product /shop, it should go to shop component. Let's clean up these two as well. All right, and then what else is there under product? Okay, so search, product /search. If somebody comes like that, they need to go to product search result component. Okay, so under product we have something called shop and something called search, and there is something called details, right? So if somebody comes under product /details/ a particular product ID, so remember there's a colon, it's a colon followed by the product ID. This product ID is the variable name. You can define whatever you want. In the next video we will see how to retrieve it, but we are saying if somebody comes like this, they will go to product details component. Okay, so this is the child route of the product ng module. Now any ng module that you need to use has to be imported into the main module. In this case, when you are implementing the lazy loading, so we will not do this thing. Instead, I will show you what we will do. So in the app routing, okay, we were not going to put this under the imports, rather we will define the route called path product. Okay, so which means somebody comes to website /product, this is the route that kicks in. Now inside that we are saying load children's goes for a function, and then we are saying import the module that is in the product module. Remember, this is very important. Lazy loading is implemented in this way. End of the video I'll show you what is lazy loading, how effective it is, but we are saying import the module which is such load children function. And remember, this ng module is not placed in the line number 18 imports. Okay, we're not doing that because then it will not be a lazy loading. Alright, let's do a quick recap. I'm defining a route under product. I'm saying load children, and the children has to be loaded from a product module, and then we are just specifying that's coming from a product module. That's it. Alright, we don't do anything else. So home contact is like a normal NgModule route, and here is the shopping, like the product one. Here also it's the same thing. We'll specify product slash shop. You can even specify slash product. It will eventually go to shop only. You can try that out. And then what we have to do, we have to do the same thing for the shopping. Alright, I've already done that, so I'm going to copy paste. And see, I have the cart, wish list, checkout. This is something important, right? These components are then exported as a routed components, and instead of having that in the declaration, you can actually export that and then use that routed component here. Okay, so which means literally, we are refactoring the code. So these two components, instead of here, it's gonna come here automatically. Okay, so everything should be good. And I think I missed to export one more component, but let's do it as we progress. Now let's go to header section, and I'm going to replace it here as well to get to the shopping place. It's exactly same whatever we did. I'm going to comment out whichever is not required. So you see this shopping slash cart, shopping slash wish list, and shopping slash checkout. Let's see if it works. Okay, it doesn't work. It's okay, there is something wrong. See, this is what happens, as in when we do, there won't be any error, but in the runtime there could be an error. Okay, alright, so what is missing? So under the shopping, we forgot to import the shopping routing module because it doesn't know about anything about shopping routing, right? So now we have imported, everything seems to be okay. And then we also have to import, like we also have to define the route for the shopping. This is also something that we forgot. So I copy pasted, that is exactly same as product. And then let's see if everything looks good. Product module. So let's refactor this as well. You see this, the three things in the declaration, right? Let's gonna clean up this. Let's go to the product module. And then in product module there is no export, so I'm going to copy paste the export one, like export constant router. So export constant routed components, and then you define the components here. For example, shop component, product search result component, product detail component. These three components are exported here because they're all used in the routing system. And then we re-import, we put it in the declaration, so it's like literally importing from another place. Okay, so we can clean up all of these places. So the code is simple and clear, concise. So this is how you do it. And also we forgot to do the product routing module import in this font. So don't get confused, routing module is imported in its respective module, but that module is never imported in the app module. Okay, now let's open up the console and see what error we are getting. Okay, so there is some error. If you read through it, mostly you'll be able to identify. There is something called router module.forChild. Okay, the error says, hey, you're supposed to use the for child, but somewhere you're using for root. For root can be only one place. So if you see this app module, right, in shopping it is correct, but in product it is for child has to be there. Instead it was for root. Because we copy pasted from app module, this kind of mistakes can happen. But remember, only app module routing can have for root. All the remaining routing will have for child. See, now as and when I click, I am able to see the different components coming up. Okay, so now contact page, right? Contact page, let's go and copy the contact page content from the existing template. So how do we go there? Let's minimize this. Let's go to our reference template. So here, if I go to contact, all right. So in generally speaking, right, in HTML templates, all the pages will have repeated code. Okay. In our case, it's a single page application. We play around with the template. So whatever is required only for the contact is what we need to take it. So here we don't need these things. We need from here line number 243. So I'm going to cut. I would say I'm going to copy only the contact section of this whole HTML, which means the hero section, the top section, header section, navigation section, I don't need it because they're all there already in the app component. So I'm going to copy this, replace it here, and see what happens to our contact page. See, magically it is exactly same how the template was there. Correct? This is what we are achieving, right? So we have achieved routing and the lazy loading concept, but don't worry, I will explain you in an interview perspective about the lazy loading. Alright, last but not least, let's understand the lazy loading because that's also important in terms of interview concept. Okay, so whatever we have done, we have already implemented lazy loading. So let me tell you what is that. Now in the route, in the main route, right, you have something called a product under shopping that itself is a separate feature or a separate NgModule, which will in turn have its own child routes. Correct? So this is one part, this is another part. Now what happens is when Angular builds the code, it builds these modules as a separate JS file. Okay, so this will be anything that comes in the product will be a separate JS file. Anything that comes under the shopping will be a separate one, and then all together the remaining all will be in the main.js file. All right, let me show you what happens in the browser. This is the application. Let's open the developer tool for Windows user, F12 for Mac. Just figure out or right click on say inspect. You will see the developer tool. Now come to this network, and then if you have already running this application, do a hard refresh, or just a refresh, Control Shift R. We'll do a hard refresh. Let's clean off all of these things, right? Let's not have anything. Now we are on the main page, right? So now if you go to contact, before that, let's go to network. So click on contact. Just the contact related content came. Let me remove this. Let's go to home. Homepage came, nothing downloaded, everything looks good, but just take a look at this closely. The moment I click on shop, that's coming under the product module. You see this? The moment I click, then only there was a JS file. There was a JS file which was downloaded. And this JS file is the built content of the complete product section. Now let's close this. Similarly, when you go to this one, that's something called shopping module. See the shopping module. The moment you clicked only, this was downloaded. So these two files never got downloaded when we loaded the application. That's called lazy loading. So in a very big application, right, when we have this kind of a feature separated into separate NgModules, this lazy loading concepts will help us so that we don't force user to download everything at the same time, because we have no idea whether the user will eventually go to those section or not, right? Maybe some user came, just they were in the product, they never went to shopping. So the shopping JS was never downloaded. We don't need to, unnecessarily download whatever is not going to be used. So this is very important. This is called lazy loading, and lazy loading modulings are very important in Angular in order for us to have a very good performance. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is what the episode 4 will end now. If you like and enjoy this video, put your comments and like and subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!